In this devotional, I'm going to share with you three thoughts from 2 Kings chapter 6, verses 15 through 18, where I'll answer the question, why is the battle the Lord's? 2 Kings chapter 6, verses 15 through 18 says, When the servant of the man of God rose early in the morning and went out, behold, an army with horses and chariots was all round the city. And the servant said, Alas, my master, what shall we do? He said, Do not be afraid, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them. Then Elisha prayed and said, O Lord, please open his eyes that he may see. So the Lord opened the eyes of the young man, and he saw, and behold, the mountain was full of the horses and chariots of fire all around Elisha. And when the Syrians came down against him, Elisha prayed to the Lord and said, Please strike this people with blindness. So he struck them with blindness in accordance with the prayer of Elisha. So often we might think that the Lord's people, or the people of God, are going to be overwhelmed by their enemies. And we're not really alone in thinking that, because if you read through the Psalms, you'll find again and again, the psalmist will be asking, Why, O Lord, are you waiting? Why are you remaining silent? Why aren't you doing what I know you're able to do? So we have to reconcile this idea that we know the battle is the Lord's, but that the Lord fights his battles at the time and place of his choosing, and it doesn't always coincide with the way that we want him to do it. So with that idea in mind, here are three thoughts from 2 Kings chapter 6, verses 15 through 18, answering the question, why is the battle the Lord's? Thought number one, overwhelming odds. When the servant of Elisha looks out, what does he see? He just sees the Syrian army. That's what he sees coming upon them. He sees this overwhelming foe. This foe that is absolutely capable of destroying them. And so often, isn't that what we see in this world? Don't we see overwhelming odds set against us? Where we think, there's no way that I'll be able to withstand the attacks of the enemy. But in spite of these overwhelming odds, Elisha isn't scared, not in the least. But he says, don't worry. There's nothing going outside of God's plans or purposes. Thought number two, hidden forces. What Elisha knows that his servant doesn't is that there are hidden forces that exist within the world. And those hidden forces that exist within the world answer to none other than the almighty living God. So Elisha asks for the Lord to reveal this great force that is surrounding the enemy that seems so overwhelming to the servant. And it's this hidden force, the hidden forces of the Lord, that ultimately brings about the victory for the Lord. The Lord has innumerable forces, almighty power. He has all the ability, all of the knowledge, to the point where nothing other than what the Lord has ordained could even possibly come about. He has hidden forces that we don't necessarily see. And it's only by the grace of God that we ever even catch a glimpse of these hidden forces, these chariots of fire that surround the enemies of God and ensure the victory for the people of God. We need to make sure that we understand that the battle belongs to the Lord because he is in control of all of these hidden forces. Thought number three, unlimited power. The Lord has unlimited power. So when you look out as the people of God and you see the enemies, the world, spiritual forces rallied against you, you can know and you can trust that the Lord has unlimited power to put a stop to all of those enemies, all of those attacks, all of those forces that are rallied up against you. There is nothing preventing the Lord from stopping it all. He can do it. And if you trust that the Lord is bringing about his purposes in the world, he's bringing about his ultimate glory and the ultimate good of his people, then you can trust that as he uses his unlimited power to bring about his purposes, that he will work out that which is good, that which is most glorifying for him and most good for his people. As we become increasingly aware of this fact, as we increasingly recognize that the Lord deliberately and unstoppably brings about his purposes in the world, we can trust that the battle is truly the Lord's, even when overwhelming odds seem to be placed against us. These three thoughts come from the assigned reading of 2 Kings chapter 6 through 10. If you'd like to read through the Bible with me, you can do so by subscribing to this channel, by clicking on the link in the description, or by joining the Facebook group Through the Bible, where we are reading the text of Scripture together.